right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get this Amped 2.0 installed on this 2015 Ford F-350. Now, this installation is specific to the F-350, but it's very similar to other applications. The connectors may be slightly different, but it'll be almost the same install for most vehicles. And these connectors are actually used on quite a few different applications, so please refer to the Amped website to go over all of the specifics as far as which product works perfect for your application. Now, we'll do a quick overview of some of the components that go in the package. We've got our Amped module, our harnesses, and then we've got the Bluetooth switch here, and our adhesive pads to mount the Bluetooth switch, a alcohol pad to help clean the mounting surface, zip ties to tie up all of your extra wires once you get them installed, and you've got your quick start guide. So we're going to be going through a quick install. It is important to note that you'll want to make sure your key is in the off position, and for safety's sake, you can also disconnect the negative battery terminals on your truck just to make sure that you don't accidentally set any check engine lights. So we're going to be just disconnecting the factory throttle position sensor, and we'll get this thing plugged in. Shouldn't take but a couple of minutes. To get your throttle position sensor connectors undone, they'll vary a little bit from vehicle to vehicle, but this is generally what you're going to see. Right on top of the gas pedal, you'll see that connector right there. In this particular setup, we've got a little red locking pin, or a little locking tab that you pull back, and then that allows you to push down the little quick release lever, and you can take them off. So we'll go ahead and give that a shot right now. I'll show you really quickly what that connector looks like. It's a little hard to see it up under the dash, but basically sitting on top of the throttle position sensor, your connectors mounted vertically like this, and basically all we're doing is lifting up this red tab, which allows this a push down lever right here, push down lever to push down, and then you can separate your connector. All right, so I'll just show you really quick what this looks like. Again, when we're taking apart the factory connector, we'll have a male and female connector, and we are plugging our gray harnesses into each of those sides and locking down with the red tabs. Now, coming off of those, it'll come down into two connectors that we'll be plugging into our Amped module. So here is one, and here's the other. So you'll notice they are color coordinated. So you've got a black connector and a white connector, and coming off of our Amped harness cables, we've got a black connector and a white connector. So we'll go ahead and get those plugged in. Okay, now we've got our Amped 2.0 module connected and installed. Now it's time to go ahead and tuck that up under the dash with the provided zip ties. And we will then begin the connection process for the smartphone app or the wireless switch. You can refer to these pages in your manual to help you with that process, but we'll go ahead and get that started now. Okay, now that we've got our Amped module installed, we're going to connect our wireless switch. This process is extremely simple. Just get your wireless switch, put it within 6 inches of the module, and press either button on it, and you'll notice after a few seconds the red lights will flash on the module 3 times, indicating that your switch is now connected to the Amped module. Now that we've got our wireless switch connected to our module, we're ready to move forward with the switch pedal relearn. Now, there are 2 methods to do a pedal relearn. You can either do it via the app or via the switch. In this case, we're doing it with the switch alone, and the app is not paired to our module. If the app were paired to our module, you would notice a red indicator light on the Amped module would be illuminated. But since it is not paired currently, we're doing it with just the switch. Now, this process is actually pretty simple. All we need to do at this point is make sure our key is still in the on position and that there's nothing impeding the full travel of the accelerator pedal. Now, what we're going to do is basically wake this device up and press and hold both buttons until all of the LEDs illuminate. Then you can release the 2 buttons, and you'll notice that they'll start scrolling here in just a second. Now, what that means is that the Amped module is ready for a relearn. So all we do now is press the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor and release it all the way to the floor and release it. We're going to do this process a couple of times until that green indicator light turns on the Amped module. That means we have successfully done our pedal relearn, and now we are good to go to the next step. Now that we've got our Amped module installed on the vehicle, it is time to connect our mobile device via the Amped 2.0 app. At this point, all we're needing is to make sure that the Amped module is installed, the key is in the on position, and we will pull up the Amped 2.0 app. Now, at this point, all it's trying to tell you is that this process is going to pair the app with the module, but it is not a pedal relearn. We will do that at a later time. We'll go ahead and press OK, and it'll come up and tell you to make sure the ignition is the on or run position and that the pedal is not pressed. We'll press OK. Now it's going to come up here in a second and tell us that we want to put the pedal all the way to the floor and hold it until the amp device is found. So I have done that now. Got the pedal all the way depressed. Okay, so it has found our amp device. Now when we hit OK here, you're going to notice that red indicator light will turn on the amped module after we select our amp device. And that indicates that we now have the Bluetooth app is paired to the amp module, and we're ready to do a pedal relearn at this time. Okay, now that we've got our Amped 2.0 app connected to our module, we will complete the app pedal relearn. Now, there's a button right here at the top of the page that shows the pedal relearn. When you click on that, it'll give you this instruction. It's basically stating that we will be pushing the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor with a minimum of 3 times within a 30-second window after pressing the OK button. So we'll go ahead and press OK, and we'll begin pressing the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor and releasing it multiple times. And what we're looking for is that red indicator light on the module to turn to a orange color. And now you can see it's an orange color. That means that our pedal relearn is complete. We can go ahead and press the complete button here since our LED indicator did turn to orange, which basically means that our red light was on due to our app being connected to the module. And now that the pedal relearn is completed, it has added the green LED indicator, which shows that our pedal relearn is complete. And now we are good to go.